You have spent your entire life asking, pleading, and waiting for a miracle that never comes. And I must tell you now, with all the spiritual authority I carry, you have forgotten the master secret. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you feel you already are. There is an abyssal difference between these two things, and that difference is precisely the reason why your life seems to have stalled at this exact point where you are now. Divine justice does not delay. It merely awaits for your state of consciousness to align with that which already belongs to you in the invisible. Take a deep breath. Sit in a quiet place, because what you are about to hear in the next few minutes is not just another motivational video. It is a key that Archangel Michael places before you now, asking that you stop suffering, stop fighting against invisible windmills, and stop begging for that which has always been yours by divine right. You will learn an ancient technique taught by masters such as Neville Goddard and Joseph Murphy, and confirmed by modern quantum physics, which will reprogram your reality starting tonight. But I warn you, if you continue doing what you have always done, you will continue receiving what you have always received. Let me explain something to you that no one else has told you. There is a silent error that is nullifying every single one of your manifestation attempts, and most people die without ever discovering this error. But you will discover it today, and when you do, you will understand why the bank account is in the red, why the love that does not arrive, why that healing in the family that seems distant. All of this is connected to a single blind spot within you. Stay until the end, because I will reveal exactly this error and how to correct it tonight before you go to sleep. Look at your life now. Truly look. How many times have you said, I want, I need, I deserve? And how many times did the answer come? Very few, right? And do you know why? Because every time you say, I want, the universe, your subconscious, your deep mind, receives the inverse message, I do not have. You are, without realizing it, decreeing absence. You are using the I am to affirm lack. And the I am, my friend, is the most powerful phrase in the universe. It is the name of God within you. Everything that follows the I am becomes law. When you say I am tired, your body obeys. When you say I am poor, your wallet obeys. When you say I am alone, your heart obeys. The subconscious has no sense of humor. It does not filter. It merely executes. It is like a faithful servant that carries out every order given by your dominant feeling. And this is where the law of assumption resides. It is not what you say with your mouth. It is what you feel deep in your chest. The feeling is the secret. This is the only truth that matters. Science has already proven, through research by the HeartMath Institute, that the human heart generates an electromagnetic field thousands of times more powerful than the brain. This field extends for meters around you and interacts with the field of other people, with the environment, and with the very quantum structure of reality. When you feel fear, this field contracts. When you feel gratitude, this field expands. And it is this field, this frequency emitted by your feeling, that is shaping your experience at this very moment. You do not live in the world. You live in the frequency that you emit. Think of that moment when you had a bill coming due. Your heart tight, your stomach in knots, mentally repeating, it won't work out, it won't work out. What happened? It didn't work out, did it? And you thought it was destiny, bad luck, or the country's economy. It was not. It was your state of consciousness operating at a frequency of scarcity. Your subconscious, programmed since childhood with beliefs that money is hard, life is a struggle, people like me don't win, simply continued to execute the old program. And the bridge of incidents, that sequence of events that connects your current state to your desired state, could never be built because you never mentally occupied the state of the bill being paid, of abundance, of financial peace. That is why I prepared this powerful digital book for you. Stop everything you are doing right now and listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you may be exactly the sign you have been waiting for. You did not arrive at this exact minute of this video by chance. There is something inside you, a silent restlessness, a sensation that life is calling you to something greater, and this sensation will not pass until you answer it. Many feel this call. Very few understand what it means, and even fewer have the courage to act before time runs out. I feel that you carry a spiritual responsibility for your family. for the people who depend on you, for those who have not even been born yet but will inherit your spiritual legacy. Because of this, I have prepared a material called How to Know If God Will Save You on Judgment Day. This digital book was written for people exactly like you who are feeling this inner pressure, this awakening, this urgency to understand what is happening on the invisible plane before it is too late. The link is in the description of this video and pinned to the top of the comments for you to access right now. I have already received messages from people who read a few pages and felt the weight lifting from their shoulders, marriages that were restored, illnesses that receded, bills that were settled in ways no one could explain. And I must be honest with you, this content may be taken down at any moment because there are truths here that many do not want to be revealed. Do not ignore this call. If you feel a tightness in your chest right now, it is your spirit recognizing the time. Comment Amen below if you are ready to receive what has always been yours. Now pay attention, because from this point on the practical part begins. The technique of assumption, taught by Neville Goddard, is simple in form and devastating in its results. It says, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Do not ask, do not beg. Simply assume. Feel as if it were already yours. See yourself with the result already in your hands. Walk through the day carrying this new identity, this new I am. You are not someone waiting for love. You are someone who is loved. You are not someone waiting for healing. You are someone who is healed. You are not someone struggling against debt. You are someone prosperous who is just waiting for the visible manifestation of that which is already true in the invisible. And here is the turning point, the fourth dimension. Everything that exists in the physical world in the third dimension first existed in the fourth dimension, on the plane of creative imagination. Imagination is not an escape from reality. Imagination is the workshop where reality is manufactured before it appears. When you close your eyes and experience the scene of your wish fulfilled, with smells, sounds, textures, and true emotions, you are planting a seed in the quantum field. And this seed, watered by persistence in the feeling, will inevitably sprout in the visible world. It is law. It is not a wish, it is not luck, it is law. I will give you an example from Brazil, one that truly touches the heart. Imagine a 47-year-old woman, mother of two, recently divorced, with her name on the credit blacklist, working as a daily cleaner, sleeping poorly, crying every night, feeling as if her life is over. She begins to apply the technique. Every night before falling asleep, she closes her eyes and occupies the state of being prosperous, loved, and at peace. She feels the embrace of a partner who respects her. She sees the key to a new house in her hands. She hears her children laughing in the living room. She smells the coffee in her own paid-off apartment. And she falls asleep in this feeling every single night, without fail. At first, nothing changes in the external world. The bills keep arriving. The ex-husband remains difficult. Her body remains tired. And this is where 95% of people give up. But she persists because she understood something that few understand. The delay in manifestation is merely the distance between your dominant feeling and the new state assumed. The more she remained in that feeling of being a fulfilled woman, the more the bridge of incidents began to build itself in the invisible. A new client appears. A different job proposal arises, a chance encounter at the market, an unexpected phone call. Piece by piece, her reality was reorganizing itself to deliver what she already was in feeling. In less than a year, her life was unrecognizable, and when they asked her what she had done, she replied, "I stopped asking and started being." That is the difference, and it is this difference that is currently separating you from what you have desired for so many years. But I must warn you of something critical, because this is where the error I promised to reveal resides. The error that nullifies the manifestation for the majority of people is the internal dialogue. You may spend 10 minutes a day visualizing, feeling, and affirming, but if you spend the other 15 hours of the day mentally talking about scarcity, complaining about life, lamenting the past, judging others, and fearing the future, then everything you planted in those 10 minutes is uprooted during those 15 hours. The subconscious obeys the dominant tone, and the dominant tone is your internal dialogue. that constant little chatter that no one hears but you. Think now. What do you speak mentally when you are in traffic? What do you think when you see your bank balance? What do you say to yourself when you look in the mirror? When you see someone prospering on social media? When your child gives you a hard time? When your spouse ignores you? Each of these moments is a silent prayer, and each silent prayer is being answered with millimetric precision by the universe. True reprogramming begins when you take control of this internal dialogue and transform it into a conversation of one who has already received. There is a sacred moment in your day, which most people waste completely, and which is the key to rewriting your entire reality. This moment is the exact instant between being awake and falling asleep, that state of light sleep, when the conscious mind lowers its guard and the subconscious becomes completely open. The mystics call this the hypnagogic state. It is in this instant, and only in this instant, that you can plant a seed without the inner critic immediately pulling it out. It is like leaving the back door open. Everything you feel, affirm, and imagine in this state goes straight into the deep soil of the mind, where reality is manufactured. And here is the protocol that Archangel Michael wants you to apply starting tonight, without failing a single time. When you lie down in bed, before sleeping, do not pick up your phone. Turn off the light, breathe deeply 3 times, and begin to feel, with all the emotional intensity possible, the scene of your desire already realized. Do not think of the scene. Feel the scene. Choose a single short image, about 10 seconds long, that represents the final result. It could be a handshake closing a deal. It could be a hug from a loved one. It could be the doctor's report saying everything is clear. It could be your mother smiling back at you, healthy and peace. This is why I prepared the powerful digital book for you. And I need to speak directly to your soul now. Everything you are feeling, this shiver, this tear that insists on falling, this sensation that something inside you is waking up, is not an illusion. It is recognition. Your soul recognizes the truth when it hears it. And it is asking you, begging you, to take the next step. You need to protect your family. You need to protect your children, your grandchildren, from the spiritual darkness that plagues the world at this time. And for that, you need more light, more knowledge, more spiritual authority. The digital book, How to Know If God Will Save You at the Final Judgment, is waiting for you in the link in the description and at the top of the comments. This material was prepared with prayer, with fasting, with revelation. It is not just another book. It is an awakening manual. The people who applied what is there report transformations that seemed impossible. Do not delay. Time is shorter than it seems. Comment, I am light below, as a decree of acceptance, and follow me to the next level of this revelation. Returning to the hypnagogic state technique. After choosing your 10-second image, you will repeat this scene mentally in a loop, feeling it more intensely each time until you fall asleep within it. This is the secret of Joseph Murphy, taught in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. You fall asleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and while you sleep, the subconscious works. It reorganizes neurons. It recalibrates hormones. It adjusts your electromagnetic field. It attracts people, events, opportunities, ideas, encounters, phone calls, all of this while you sleep. You wake up different, and the world slowly begins to respond to this new version of you. Persistence is the word that separates those who succeed from those who give up. Persistence is not anxious insistence. Persistence is the calm of those who already know. It is the posture of those who have entered the state and refuse to leave, no matter what the external world shows in the coming weeks. Because, mark my words, the external world is the reflection of the internal world from 6 months ago, from a year ago, from 10 years ago. When you change the internal world today, the external reflection takes time to update. This time is your test, and the majority fail this test because they look at the still foggy mirror and conclude that the technique does not work, when in fact the steam is about to dissipate. I want you to understand the depth of this. The Bible says in Mark 11:24, "Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Notice the order. First believe that you have received, then receive. It is not first receive and then believe. It is first feel the receipt as already consummated, and the physical manifestation comes as a natural consequence. Jesus taught the law of assumption 2,000 years before Neville Goddard. He did not say, wait and see. He said, believe that you have received, past tense. You have already received. Feel as if it were already yours, and then and only then will it appear. Now think about what this means for your life. That child who has drifted away, that marriage that seems dead, that health that wavers, that career that has stalled, that anxiety that never fades. All of this can be rewritten. Not by magic, not by luck, by the law, by the same law that makes the apple fall from the tree. The law of assumption is as precise as the law of gravity. You simply need to stop rowing against it. Stop affirming lack while asking for abundance. Stop feeling the illness while asking for the cure. Stop living in abandonment while asking for love. Imagine a Brazilian man, 62 years old, retired on disability, with high blood pressure, diabetes and depression. The doctor had already said he would have to live with these conditions until he died. His family had already accepted it. He himself had already accepted it. Until one night he watched a video like this one, and he understood, and he began to apply it. Every night, before falling asleep, he would close his eyes and feel his body light, strong, and healthy. He saw himself walking in the park with his grandson. He felt the air entering his lungs clean and fresh. He felt a spontaneous smile on his face. He would fall asleep in that feeling, every single night. 3 months later, tests were redone. Blood pressure controlled, blood sugar levels normalized. The doctor had no explanation. The family was in tears, and he calmly would say, I simply decided to occupy the state of one who was already healed. This is true, this is repeatable, this is available to you right now. But I must warn you about the second deadly error that destroys manifestations. It is anxious checking. A person enters the state, feels the desire fulfilled, and then immediately begins to check the external world every 5 minutes, asking, has it arrived yet? Will it really work? Will it actually happen? Each anxious check is a confession that you do not believe, and each confession of disbelief resets the program. It is like planting a seed and digging it up every day to see if it has germinated yet. You tear the root out in the process. Did you plant it? Did you feel it? Did you assume the state? Then go on with your life in the frequency of one who has already received it. Trust, let go, and watch the bridge of incidents build itself. Trust is not blind. It is lucid. It is the trust of the farmer who knows he planted the right seed in the right soil in the right season, and therefore does not need to keep turning over the earth every day. He simply tends to the soil, which is to say, to the state of consciousness, and lets nature do the rest. Let the law operate. Let the universe deliver. There is also a complementary technique that multiplies the results. Neville Goddard called it revision. Every night before the hypnagogic state, you review the day that has passed. But you do not review it as it happened. You review it as you would have liked it to be. That conversation that ended in an argument, you rewrite it mentally, experiencing that same conversation ending in understanding and an embrace. That commitment that went wrong, you rewrite it mentally as if it had gone perfectly. That moment of anger, you rewrite it as a moment of peace, and you feel it. You feel it as if it had happened exactly that way. Why is this technique so powerful? Because the subconscious does not differentiate between what truly happened and what you felt intensely. By rewriting the events of the day in feeling, you are literally rewriting your past in the plane of the subconscious memory. And since the present is born from the past stored in the subconscious, by changing the past, you change the present. And by changing the present, you redirect your entire future. This is true redemption. It is not erasing. It is rewriting at a higher frequency. And when you integrate assumption, persistence, the hypnagogic state and revision, you become a conscious worker of your own reality. You cease to be a victim. You cease to be a member of the audience. You become the screenwriter, the director, and the protagonist of your story. You fulfill the I am that has always been your true identity. That is why I have prepared this powerful digital book for you. This is the moment that separates those who watch videos from those who transform their lives. I feel right now, while conversing with you, that there is a spiritual responsibility resting upon your shoulders. It is not a burden, it is an honor. You were placed in this family, in this time, in this place, for a reason. And that reason has to do with protecting, with guiding, and with elevating the frequency of people who depend on your light, even if they do not know it yet. The digital book, How to Know If God Will Save You at the Final Judgment, is the next step. It is in the link in the description and pinned at the top of the comments. This material will give you definitive clarity regarding the spiritual signs that are intensifying around you, your purpose, how to shield your family, and how to remain firm when the storm arrives. People who have applied what is within it report revelatory dreams, supernatural deliverances, restoration of relationships, and financial provision in unexpected ways. Time is short, and the content may be taken down. Get yours now. Do not leave it for tomorrow, because your tomorrow depends on the decision you make today. Comment "I receive" below as a spiritual signature of the new reality that is arriving. I want to deliver to you now a final teaching, perhaps the most profound one. Everything we have discussed up to this point only functions when you understand a central truth. You are the operation of God on earth. The I Am within you is the same I Am that revealed itself to Moses in the burning bush. There is no separation. The consciousness that calls itself I, deep within your chest, is the same consciousness that sustains the galaxies. When Neville Goddard said, "God is your human imagination," he was not blaspheming. He was revealing the best-kept secret of all scriptures. You were not created to beg from the divine. You were created to operate as the divine. And when this truth descends from the intellect to the heart, everything changes. You stop feeling small. You stop feeling unworthy. You stop feeling forgotten. You understand that every experience in your life, even the most painful ones, was a training ground for you to awaken to your true creative power. Pain was not a punishment, it was a summons. Every loss was a question, every dark night was an invitation, and you are responding now. Think of the Brazilian women of 40, 50, 60 years of age who have carried entire families on their backs, who have given up so many things, who have learned to live with little, who have confused love with sacrifice and dignity with silence. This message is especially for you. The old cycles can be broken tonight, not tomorrow, tonight. When you lie down in bed, occupy the state of a whole woman, without guilt, without emotional debt, without needing to prove anything to anyone. Just whole, at peace, prosperous, loved, healthy, vibrant, and persist every night, without fail. Think of the Brazilian men who carry the weight of providing, of not being able to show weakness, who have lost businesses, who have failed in marriages, who feel too tired to start over. This message is also for you. You do not need to fight anymore. You need to assume the state of a fulfilled, respected, prosperous man at peace with himself, and fall asleep in that frequency every night. The external world, in a few weeks, begins to reorganize itself to reflect this new identity. It is not a theory, it is a law. It is the same law that is sustaining your heart beating right now, without you needing to ask it to beat. I know that perhaps you are crying right now. It is all right. Tears are the seal of the soul recognizing the truth. Let them come. Each one of them is washing away old programs. Each one of them is opening space for the new consciousness to settle in. You are not alone on this journey. There are thousands of people right now across Brazil and the world awakening along with you. A silent network of souls rising. And you are a part of it. Starting tonight, I want you to make a pact with yourself. The pact of persistence. 30 days. Just 30 days. Every night before going to sleep, you enter the state. Every night, without fail, you occupy the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Every night, you review your day in a higher frequency. Every night you fall asleep as the I Am that you have decided to be. And watch, as these weeks pass, how reality reorganizes itself around you in ways that will surprise you and sometimes startle you by how precise they are. And I want you to remember this. Feeling is the secret. It is not the perfect visualization. It is not the eloquent affirmation. It is not the elaborate ritual. It is the feeling. The dominant feeling of your heart is the most powerful prayer that exists. Protect your feeling as if it were the greatest treasure you possess, because it is. Before I conclude, I need to give you this. You did not reach the end of this video by chance. Statistically, more than 80% of people give up before reaching this point. But you stayed. And you stayed because some part of you, older than this life, recognized that this was the time. Divine justice, of which Archangel Michael is the guardian, is manifesting now in your life, in your affairs, in your finances, in your relationships, and in your health. But it needs a vehicle, and that vehicle is your occupied, persistent, and unshakable state of consciousness. That is why I have prepared a powerful ebook for you. The ebook, How to Know If God Will Save You on Final Judgment, is the natural continuation of this revelation. Everything we have discussed here is only the beginning. Inside you will find the deepest teachings on the signs of the times, on how to recognize the voice of God amidst the noise of the world, on how to spiritually shield your home and your family, and on how to securely occupy the state of one who has already been saved, already been chosen, and already been confirmed from on high. The link is in the description of this video and pinned at the top of the comments. Access it now, before this content is taken down. Do not delay. The spiritual urgency of this moment is real. And your next step, your like on this video as a decree of acceptance, your subscription to the channel as a seal of covenant, and your comment, I am that I am, below, are the three keys that confirm, in the invisible, that you have received the call and are ready to walk. Archangel Michael is with you. Divine justice has arrived. Stop suffering. Begin to be. And so it is, now and always. Amen.